Hello everyone, and welcome back to Optimize FPL. I hope you're enjoying the content. Please feel free to subscribe and leave any comments about the team or your own. We are just going to be checking out last week's results and looking at some players who are on the watch list for this game week and beyond. Let's get into it, and starting with the defense. Okay, so yeah, looking at our defense of points, it wasn't very great. We had Foster against Southampton. Huge mistake benching Ramsdale over Foster. I thought that Leicester were definitely going to score a goal. Vardy is coming back in. I just didn't think Leicester were going to, or Arsenal were going to keep a clean sheet against Leicester, and I thought that Southampton weren't that great in offense. And I mean, it's fine margins, right? Ramsdale was about this close to conceding against Leicester with that free kick, but I believe it was Tielemans who took that free kick, and then we got Foster against Southampton, only losing by 1 goal to a Che Adams goal. So I mean, really fine margins there. Could have easily been clean sheet for Foster and Ramsdale getting the 2 points, but it is what it is. I think from now on I'm just going to be sticking with Ramsdale, even if he has bad fixtures. I mean, the problem with Foster in net most of the time is that Watford's defense are absolutely garbage. So I don't know why I thought that he'd be a good pick this week. I just got a little bit excited, I guess, by the concept of playing Southampton, but yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Looking to our left, we got Rudiger here. Chelsea beat Norwich, Newcastle 3-0. Might as well have been Norwich. Both teams are teams you want to be targeting for sure. But yeah, just got a clean sheet, nothing too special. James got 2 goals. Jorginho got the assist, the other goal in the on the penalty spot. Pretty easy match for Chelsea. I didn't get to watch it, but it seemed like they took care of business pretty easily. A heartbreaker for us was Man City against Crystal Palace, 2-0. Who would have thought that Crystal Palace were going to come out swinging? Zaha getting in on the early goal. It looked like Ederson should have really saved it, but after that it seemed like it was just downhill from there. Laporte going on to get a red card, and then Gallagher going to finish off the game, making it 2-0, and knocking DS down to 1 point. Pretty disappointing overall from the City defense. 2 games in a row now conceding against 2 pretty weak oppositions, in my opinion, Brighton and Crystal Palace. Those are teams that I thought I'd bring these guys in for, and they get results, and they just haven't. So very disappointed in that. A lot of money spent on these defenders for getting not a lot of points. Yeah, Diaz is a player that's somebody that I'm considering removing and moving on to somebody else, but we'll get into that a little bit later with the watch list. But yeah, he is definitely the number 1 on the chopping block right now. Just because there's so many good attacking players in that defense that I just think that having a central defender is not great. I want that stability and that consistency of playing, but I think that I need to start going for more big points and potential benchings, especially with how strong my bench is. As we saw this week, I'll show you in a little bit how well my bench did. It's ridiculous. Moving on, we got Trent Alexander-Arnold playing Brighton. Brighton played out of their skin to come back from 2-0. Very impressed by them. Disappointed that Alexander-Arnold couldn't get anything, but I mean, it's a freak game. Brighton, that doesn't happen very often. You know, Brighton scoring 2 goals, so you know it is what it is. It's something that you can't really predict. I would have liked to see him at least get on like the assist sheet or create some more chances and potentially get out the bonus ranks, the bonus point system ranks. But yeah, it is what it is. It was unfortunate, but you know, oh well. Yeah, let's move on to our midfielder options and see how they did. Okay, so looking at our midfield, it looks a lot better than the defense does for sure. We'll start off with Foden just because he's probably the most disappointing part of this midfield. No goals, obviously, no clean sheet for an extra point. Nothing really for Foden. I mean, they went down to 10 men around the 60th minute mark. I'm pretty sure around there, somewhere around there with Laporte. You know, whatever Laporte was doing, he was in his own goddamn world with that one. But yeah, Foden, 2 points. They were just off City. They didn't look great, but he did end up going and scoring in the Champions League, so I'm not too worried about him. He's going to be playing up top, so I think that he's going to get lots of returns this season. I think he's definitely a hold for the next few fixtures. I know they're playing Man United, then Everton, then West Ham, but I think he's a hold after that. 'Cause after that, from 14 to 20, they're playing really easy teams like Newcastle, Watford, Leeds. So yeah, I think that he's definitely a hold for the long-term future. Looking next, we got Rafinha, 2-1 against Norwich. always gotta be targeting Norwich. That is my new strategy in this game. Honestly, is whoever is playing Norwich, I need to have at least one player from that team, preferably the main man, because they are going to score. Rafinha getting the goal, Rodrigo getting a goal, Oba Dembele, interestingly, getting a goal for Norwich. That's something you don't see very often. I also got all 3 bonus points. He is someone to definitely keep an eye on. If he can continue to play at his price point of 3.9 million, could be a little bench option if you're looking for a cheap defense. But yeah, back to Rafinha. Got the goal. I didn't get to watch the game, but I just know that whenever you got a player that's going to be playing Norwich, you bring him in. You bring in the main man, whoever's playing Norwich. Last up, we got Salah. He only got an assist in the Liverpool-Brighton game, which, I mean, it's not too bad. He didn't blank, which is very nice to see. If he had blanked and they conceded 2 goals, he would have only got 2 points. So getting the assist is definitely helpful. No bonus points just because of how many goals were scored. All the goal scorers getting the bonus points. But yeah, no, Salah did well. Could have done a little bit better, but I mean, there was nobody else I was going to ever captain this game week other than Salah. He's just been on 2 amazing form, and he could have easily scored a couple goals that game, I'm sure. But yeah, I don't think I would ever not have captain Salah, so I can't be too upset with the points that I got. Okay, moving on to the strike force. We're going to start with a very interesting one in Harry Kane. And he only got 2 points against Manchester United. Absolutely terrible game for Spurs. What a garbage performance again by us. And in the end, I think they were calling it El Sacchio. Yeah, the El Sacchio was, I would say, was won by Tottenham because we got rid of Nuno the 2 nights after the game, and we brought in Antonio Conte, as you can see by the thumbnail. I am so excited about this. You don't even understand. The watch list has lots of Spurs players on it, and I think that Antonio Conte could win us a trophy. I don't think the league. I think the league's a little bit too ambitious, but an FA Cup, maybe that other Europa League. I don't even know what's the Conference League. I think is what it's called. I think we could win that with him. He's a winner, and I think that Harry Kane is going to get his head out of his fucking ass and look around the locker room and see that he's got some talented players there that can win him some stuff, and now he has a world-class manager that can actually win us some games and some titles. Or not titles, but like trophies, sorry. So, yeah, let's hope that Harry Kane can get his head out of his butt, and if Conte can get the best out of him, this would be amazing. Like, I can't even imagine. Like a 3-5-2 with Kane and Son up top, that is going to be great for both Kane and Son. So let's hope he implements that kind of strategy, and let's hope that he can get Kane in the box. Antonio Conte has talked about in the past where, with Kane, for example, that he's such a good finisher. Why do you have him all over the pitch? You put him in the box, you put him around the box, because that's where he's going to score goals. That's the best thing he can do. No other player on the planet can really do what Kane does, barring maybe 5 individuals. So why do you want him in midfield spraying balls that Harry Winks could do just as well? So, yeah, anyways, I'm really excited about Harry Kane's future with us. I think he's going to do amazing. Okay, next up we got Tony. Bit of a disappointing match. I mean, he hasn't scored in a few games now. I think it's like 3 or 4, maybe, actually it's even more. It's about 6 games since he scored. Last game he scored was against Wolves. But his price has still continued to go up, I guess because the fixtures are looking so good for Brentford, and I don't disagree. I mean, I brought him in a long time ago because I thought the fixtures were amazing, and I think that he can definitely score some goals. Yeah, so let's hope that he can get back onto the score sheets and start doing well. Try to recreate his form that he had in the championship, but yeah, I really hope he can do that because that would be very, very nice. I don't know if the fact that Mbeumo's not there is hurting him. It seems like he's doing just as well fantasy-wise, at least, as he is with Mbeumo than when he wasn't, but I'm sure that having the strike partner that he's used to would definitely be helping him a little bit in these games. So let's hope that Mbeumo can get back. Not for other people who have him, but just so that way Tony can hopefully get a little bit more link-up play with a striker that he's more used to. Last up, and our hero this game week was Jimenez. Jimenez getting a goal against Everton. He could have gotten an assist as well, but unfortunately Hwang was offside. But yeah, Jimenez getting the goal, getting the 3 bonus points, getting the winner versus Wolves, or for Wolves, sorry, was great. I watched the game. Everton just terrible in defense. Like, that's why I'm really excited about Kane next week. Everton looked really shaky in defense. It was really weird. I know Everton have never been known as like a really well-oiled machine since like David Moyes left, but it's just a bit odd to see them so like discombobulated, and it was so fast against Wolves as well. But yeah, let's hope that Tottenham can do well against them next weekend. And I'm very happy with what Jimenez put up this game week. So yeah, so that's the team. It was a decent result. Costs us a little bit in rank, but it is what it is. Let's move on to our captain and vice captains. We already know who they were. It was Kane and Salah. Again, I don't think I'd ever change it. I might maybe have put it on Rafinha because it was Norwich, but like the vice captain. Sorry, never the captain, but the vice captain. We might have put it on Rafinha, but honestly, the captain was never leaving Salah, so can't be too disappointed about that. Looking at our bench, it's not exactly actually in this order, but Ramsdale was definitely the first off the bench for goalies, and my God, was that crappy for us. 8 potential points lost, and yeah, definitely hurt our rank there for sure. The other player that definitely hurt our rank was Smith Rowe. He was actually next on the bench. I switched them around last minute when I was doing the game week, the end of the game week last week. And yeah, I really was tempted to put him in instead of DS because I just think that an attacking player is so much better than a defensive player because they're just more likely to get points. And I mean, hindsight's 2020, obviously, but I was right in this scenario that a defender is less likely to get points than an attacker, and we saw that today. We saw that a few days ago, and yeah, that's another 8 points we lost out on. So currently the bench with just Ramsdale and Smith Rowe is 19 points missed out on, and then Livramento getting a clean sheet in the game that I thought that Foster would have a clean sheet in, another 6 points that we missed out on. Livramento realistically was never coming into the team. I mean, like, he maybe could have came in for DS, but I don't think I ever would have played him. I mean, I guess Watford are a pretty weak attack, but I just think that Southampton also have a pretty weak defense, so I wouldn't want to play him like most weeks. But I mean, he just keeps consistently showing that he is a great fantasy option, and it hurts to see him on the bench. And then Brownhill getting his 2 points, which is not surprising. But yeah, overall, if I had played the bench boost, which I know again it sounds silly, but I did think about playing the bench boost this week, it would have been a total of 27 extra points from the bench. That would have been huge for our game week. But it is what it is. I like holding my bench boosts usually for double game weeks, but I just saw the fact that my bench did look quite strong this week, and I thought that the odds of them getting some points were there. This amount of points I would have never predicted, so you just gotta hold your hands up and say, oh well, right? But yeah, once double game weeks start coming around, I think it's more likely I'll play the bench boost. So, our predicted score for this game week was 60.8. I believe I gave it a predicted score of, 59. We did not get anywhere close to that, really. We got a game week score of 46. 14 points off of the predicted score, and 13 points off of my predicted score. So, not great. Not a great game week. Definitely saw us lose our rank a little bit. Our overall score is now 689, so pretty decent, almost at 700, which would be pretty nice after 10 game weeks to be averaging basically 68 points a game week right now is very, very decent. I mean, I think like if you wanted to average out 60 points a game week last season, like if you could do that for the entire season, you would have won the whole thing. So pretty decent so far. Obviously, it's easy to keep up when your team is very template, like mine is. I think it's about like 60 or 50% template according to Live FPL. So let's hope we can keep up with the top 100, which we are still in. We are currently world rank of 35,148. Not too shabby at this point in the season, but yeah. Anyways, we're going to take a look at the watch list now. Okay, so the watch list will consist of players who are not currently in my team. But honorable mentions from my team for this game week are Tony, because he's playing Norwich, Kane, because he's playing Everton, Rafinha, because he's playing Leicester. I think Leicester have had a pretty weak defense so far. And then we have Smith Rowe, because he's playing Watford, and we have Ramsdale, because he is playing Watford. Yeah, let's look at the first of our watch list. So, to exactly 0 people's surprise, we have Ben Chilwell. I mean, Chelsea's defense have looked really good. Chilwell has been playing very well, obviously. He seems to be much more nailed than he was earlier. Alonso doesn't seem like he's going to be able to get into that team very often. I know there was chatter about the fact that Tuchel said that he wanted to play Alonso against Burnley last season because of his height. I don't know if that is still the case. I don't know if that's going to change because Alonso did end up playing in the Champions League, so I would be surprised if he played Alonso 2 times in the same game week. I'd be much. I think that the odds of Chilwell playing are a lot higher than Alonso this game week, but yeah, I mean he's been playing super well. He's gotten 8 points in this last game. He got like 20 something points in the game before that because he scored a couple goals. He's just been one of the best players in fantasy right now. Honestly, it's hard to even say like how what can you do to like you can't not buy him. He's just been doing so well. And Chelsea's fixtures are obviously really good. That's why I still have Rudiger in the team. I think that Chelsea's fixtures look fantastic in the next probably like up until like game week 20. Honestly, Chelsea's fixtures look amazing, and the way Chelsea defend and how good they are, you could honestly hold these players the entire season. So, yeah, that's the first one is just Chilwell. Next up, and the man in blazing hot form after his 2 goals is James. Similar to Chilwell, I think that James has a good chance of starting on the weekend. I think Azpilicueta is pretty unlikely to start. I think I heard something that he had like some kind of injury going on, so doubt he'll play. And yeah, James is on everyone's radar after scoring 13 and 21 points respectively after playing Norwich and Newcastle. I mean, the guy has been on absolute red-hot fire form. And yeah, honestly, these two wing-backs, I think one of them is almost a necessity at this point in the game. Just the way that Chelsea are playing, the way they're attacking, all their attacks go through the wing-backs. Tuchel was joking at one point of putting like Lukaku and Werner should be playing wing-back because of how many goals they've been scoring. So these two guys, one of them I feel like is essential at this point. I know they'll be benched, which sometimes which sucks, but I mean I do have a strong enough bench with Smith Rowe or Tony or Rafinha or Brownhill or Livramento coming in that I don't think having a player who could potentially get benched is a big deal. So yeah, the only thing I worry about with James in particular is that he has been like he's tended to come on for 1-pointers, which are the worst for benched players because you want like if a player's on the bench, you don't want him coming on the field ever, unless they're like Jata against Crystal Palace last season and he scores 2 goals or a goal or I can't even remember what he did, but he came on and scored some points. Or maybe that was Salah actually. No, sorry, that was Salah. But like the odds of them coming off the bench and scoring points is really, really unlikely. So I wouldn't recommend getting players who are likely to come off the bench. So that's why I think James, even though he is slightly cheaper, and like if you can't afford Chilwell, James is an absolutely fantastic option. I just think Chilwell is less likely to come off the bench than James is. I think it's also because of his explosive pace. Like when the game is slowed down and people are tired, you bring James on. He's got that electric pace, and he's also got like he's still got very good deliveries. So yeah. Those are the 2 players that I'm looking at from Chelsea. Let's move on to the next player. Okay, so looking at our next player is Reguilon. I think that it might be a little bit too early to get super excited about Spurs players, and we don't even know that Reguilon is going to play there. Maybe Conte has a revelation. He's like, Ben Davies, you are my man at left wing back. But I think the odds of that are super slim. So Reguilon is definitely a player I'm looking at. Everton next game week is not a great one, but everybody knows about Spurs fixtures from game week 12 to 15. They got Leeds, Burnley, Brentford, Norwich. Those are great games for not only strikers but for defenders as well, especially when you have a manager that knows how to defend. Conte coming in is huge. I just think that like the odds of Spurs keeping clean sheets has now risen, and the odds of Reguilon getting more attacking returns has also risen. So he is just like his value as an FPL asset has gone up humongously just because of one appointment. Definitely someone I'm keeping an eye on. I don't think I'll bring him in this week, but next week I am almost guaranteeing that I'm going to bring him in because I just think it depends what Conte plays in the Conference League and also in the game against Everton. I just want to see what his lineups looks like because I don't want to be bringing in players and then seeing them get benched and not played. Like that would suck. So I want to see what his lineups are and then go from there. But I think Reguilon is definitely a great player to pick. Next up, we got Diego Jata. The reason for Diego Jata coming in is not because of Liverpool's next couple fixtures, because they're decent, but they're not amazing. The reason that I'm interested in him is mostly because it sounds like Firmino came off injured in the Champions League game. Diego Jata did start that game, and then Firmino came on and then got injured. So if Firmino's injured, Jata is almost guaranteed to play. They're not going to play Origi up there. That would be the biggest curveball I've ever seen. So if Diego Jata, when he has minutes and when he is on the pitch for a full 90 minutes, he is electric. So we want him when he's on the pitch, and with Firmino out, he could be somebody you could bring in. Like I could bring him in for Foden, for example, especially considering that Foden is playing Manchester United away and Liverpool are playing like West Ham away. One of those teams is definitely easier than the other. I know people will joke that Manchester United is an easier fixture, but West Ham are the easier fixture. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about with him. That's why he's on the watch list, and yeah, we'll have to see what the extent of Firmino's injury is before we bring in Jata, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Okay, so the second player on this list that is a Spurs player is Son Heung-min. He has been the best Spurs player this entire season, not only in FPL aspect, but just in the way we've been playing. He's the only one that seems to be scoring any goals. He's the only one that seems to be caring. He's the only one that seems to be putting any effort in. Like, he is the only one that doing anything for this club. So if Conte comes in and puts him into a 3-5-2 and he's playing striker up top with Kane, I think that's huge. Like, he could definitely get some points. If we think about it, he's been playing more on the left wing this season than Kane, and he's been getting way more points. He's been doing a fantastic job, and he gets more points for the goal, and he gets more points for a clean sheet. He gets 1 point for a clean sheet. So if Conte comes in, starts keeping clean sheets, and Son is scoring just as much as he is now, he's a great player to pick, and yeah, he's also a player that I could bring in for Foden. It would take a little bit of money. I'd probably have to take out Trent Alexander-Arnold, but he's definitely somebody that I'm keeping an eye out for because Son is a fantastic player. I could even take Harry Kane down to maybe someone like Antonio and bring maybe Rafinha up to Son, or like something like that. Something around that idea is definitely a possibility. The final player, and not someone that I'm too excited about, but somebody that I think we definitely should keep an eye on, is Cornet, which I believe is how you say it. He's the French left mid for Burnley. He's been playing really well since he's come into the club. It's interesting because Burnley don't really have that much in attacking force, so the fact that someone's come in and started doing so well for them is really interesting. He is the most expensive Burnley midfielder right now, but he's been playing absolutely fantastic. I mean, he scored in the Brentford game. He scored in the Southampton game. He's come into the league and lit it up a little bit, to be honest. I mean, he played a little bit in the Leicester game, got an assist there, got a goal there. And yeah, I mean, he seems to be the main man right now at Burnley. Obviously, Wood is still a great asset, probably compared to him even, because he does have penalties. But Cornet, definitely someone to keep an eye out for the future, because he's been doing quite well. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to leave any comments or questions about the team or your own, like I said at the beginning. And yeah, or if you have any questions about the watch list or any players that I should be keeping an eye out for, please let me know. I'll be definitely keeping my eye out for it. I think it'll be super interesting to see what everybody has in mind. Thanks for watching, and I hope everybody has a great game week. Please feel free to subscribe so you don't miss out on any content. Thanks everyone. Have a good game week, and cheers!